Alright, I'm gonna have to say some things. Uh, yeah, I think this is becoming a fucking ego trip. Precisely. Just if you do have joules and kilograms and all this bullshit. I mean, America doesn't even use kilograms, so it's like, what the fuck? Who isn't falling into this physics ego trip? Um, Again, implying 1 joule equals a kilogram. It's again, if you don't think that that's quantizing, I mean, are you saying that's quantifying? Uh, I mean, maybe it's quantifying, but aren't we then saying, well, all of quantum physics is quantifying since they're using experiments on gravitational waves and they're hitting numbers, they're hitting their trial numbers, if you will. If their trial number is they need to run the same uh, they need to run the same particle experiment 1,000 times, or let's say 250 times, to be able to get their final mean, their average, or their indifferent, uh, like their base, whatever. Then aren't they quantifying? Um, that's why I'm saying it is just a Schrodinger. It's I mean, if you call it momentum, I mean, honestly, at this rate, I think it's just going to be considered whatever the fuck people want to call it. Again, what are they really giving to religion other than, uh, I mean, honestly, it's almost like the Muslims have it more logical than Christians, because Christians pray to some white Spaniard Jesus, and Muslims, technically, they don't pray to anyone. Well, they pray to someone's name, which is a little bit more logical to do if you're actually fucking religious. So, I mean, I'd give them that. And then, but yeah, I mean, white people are just so much, smarter than that. But, yeah, again, all the minorities praying to a white Jesus or what have you, or their Jesus is their ethnicity. It's all that uh, visual hallucinatory, audio hallucinatory bullshit. Um, but what are you calling that? Other than a sickness, what are you really calling that? Is this like some, you know, energetic momentum or something like this? I mean, that's why I'm saying, as soon as you, I guess, quantify this physical argument, there's no propulsion, there is no value in arguing for uh, like a qualification number, like a qualifying number, such as a joule or such as a one, like as if it was a binary. And I don't know, quantum physics is looking for like this certain binary in their 250 trial experiment or whatever, when they're trying to get the gravitational wave, or they're trying to catch a muon, gluon, whatever. Um, Again, when you're saying kilograms and joules or calories or you know whatever, binary energy. I mean, if you're talking about Newton, or this impulse and momentum, it seems like that seems like force equals momentum over time, change of momentum over time for me. Um, so yeah, I just think it's become an ego trip. Well, I think it always has been an ego trip, and I can't do the word work. The word work has no value or no uh, real value, I guess, because again, it's going to be some binary number, some quantification, uh, something like that. Um, a quantity going up in this momentum. So that is, I mean, it just makes all of physics elementary, and I don't expect this to be understood, but um, if they are deducing kinetic energy and anti gravity, then it's just going to turn into a calculation. And because there's no point in putting ones and twos if you're not going to put decimal points and all that crazy stuff. Because technically, that's what's happening just when you quantize anything, or you're giving something a quantification. Um, so there's no, I mean, these aren't special words. Force and momentum and velocity over time aren't, that's not anything special. It has no more substance than E equals mass constant squared. Um, and anyway, E equals mc squared is an idea. It's not a, to me, it's an idea, okay? It's not an equation because it breaks quantifying. So I don't even know if I should watch this or just end there, but yeah, I mean, just to vent a little bit more, I'll try to get through a little bit of this, a little bit of this, but yeah, it's nothing more than that. Again, that's why I'm calling it a Schrodinger. It's a philosophical equation more than a physics equation. None of these, things are really
with momentum. What is momentum?
really
I know
proven.
you heard of this word, but what really is it? Here's the formula
I mean, they're
for
not proven
momentum.
through the math.
Momentum, represented by the lowercase p symbol, is mass times velocity.
All right, what the fuck?
Now let's think about what that means. Momentum is basically mass in motion.
I always look at P, even though that's what they're calling momentum. I always just look at this as photons, and this is mass and velocity, of course. I'm not gonna be able to get through all this. This guy, I need some sleep for this shit. Yeah, and then they're gonna talk about vectors and scalars, and we don't need that. And trying to see. Well, here's some change over time. What the fuck?
It corresponds to impulse. And
Yeah, again, a force over the change in time. I mean, it doesn't make a difference. Whatever numbers you put in, these aren't math equations. These are philosophical understandings of the physical nature of reality. And that's why I do like Einstein over Descartes, because this is, all this momentum. You want to talk about like DNA momentum or something? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. If you quantify, you can't just start quantifying things outside of the body and then not quantify the body. I mean, doing these Newton equations, these, I guess, Newtonian gravitational equations. I know that doesn't make sense either, but it's just, I mean, it's how you look at it. It's really how you look at it. Is the physical universe? Do you have a philosophical understanding of the physical universe, or do you have, I don't know, in the Platonian sense? I mean, this is all Platonics. It's sort of like this. Uh, you have this like, I don't know. You have like this place in the universe. Einstein mechanics divorce you from universal reality, or I guess universal physics, um, and say there's just a separation. Um, I don't understand how that has to be. I guess baseline religious. Okay. Um, I don't think it should be baseline religious. Well, I don't really give a shit. That's why I'm saying it's all semantics. I mean, if this is like the engineer's code to the physical universe is Newtonian bullshit, and um, some people gotta suck Newton's dick, and some people gotta suck Einstein's dick. I don't really give a fuck. I think it's semantics. I don't think it makes a bit of difference. I think it's an ego trip. Um, I mean, somehow saying, okay, just because our ancestors are hominids means that we have to act like hominids, like hominid man or something, or Neanderthal or whatever. I mean, it's like there can't be any separation in consciousness. Um, Newton's second law. All right, so change in momentum over change in time. Um, yeah, I guess I could go over this. Everybody knows Einstein said that there is two windows to reality. Two realities or two windows of reality. Um, when you're deciding to look into the physical universe, and it's what's physically in front of you or what can be quantized. The refraction. And I should say the reflection. What's in front of you and what's being reflected, I should say. So, again, I don't know. I mean, this force stuff, it just digs into math. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like a law. I don't know. Just say you have Einstein's experiment, you have a change in, all right, well, force would equal the change in momentum. Well, I mean, it just doesn't make a difference. You look through the reflective lens, particles reflect, and that happens over time. I mean, it just doesn't make a difference. These are fluent ways to look at the universe philosophically. I, I don't really care to say that the Greeks invented it because of this, but it just doesn't. I mean, all of it adds up, and all of it is good to talk about, but it really is semantics. I mean, you can't say that one law holds up the fabric of reality or nature or the universe or the reality of the universe. It just doesn't make. I mean, it's not any justice. Um, and I don't know. I mean, I just see that. I just see F equals. I'll just call it what is it, MV over T. And I mean, I see any other physics equation. I don't think that just because this was the former um, makes it any better or worse. I just think that it's become an ego trip. And yeah, I'll gladly take a hanging for saying that. And yeah, I mean, there's just no evidence here for me. There's no evidence for me anywhere. I've stated what I think is wrong with physics. I think that it is the speed of light. I don't think there should be a speed of light, velocity, and all this stuff. It's just very retarded. And okay, what the fuck is this? You know, it has constants and change of momentum over time. I mean, just okay. So what? There's a fluctuation. I mean, a fluctuation. Fluctuation. There's a fluctuation happening. I mean, everybody knows there's a fluctuation happening, but you can't quantize it. Sorry, you can't quantize. I don't know what the fuck I'm trying to say anymore. You can't quantify. Yeah, you can't. Like, what is the point of quantifying? Quantify one thing, you have to quantify everything else. That's what's wrong with physics. And we just can't have theoretical conversations or especially agreements on that because there's just these fucking it's just double speak. So